You think you're so special because your daddy has money? Jessica's voice cut through the speakers like a knife. Well, let me tell you something, you little brat. You're nothing but a mistake he made with some woman who wasn't good enough to stick around. The phone screen glowed in the dark living room. Marcus Williams sat frozen on his leather couch, his hands shaking as he watched the video for the third time. The sound was crystal clear. Every cruel word, every slap, every sob. I repeat myself, you're nothing but a mistake your dad made with your mother who wasn't good enough to stick around him. On the screen, 16-year-old Zara cowered against the kitchen counter, tears streaming down her dark cheeks. The bruise on her arm was already turning purple. Please, Zara whispered in the video. I didn't do anything wrong. I just wanted some water. Slap. The sound made Marcus jump, even though he'd heard it twice already. His wife Jessica stood over his daughter like a hunter over prey, her blonde hair perfect, her smile cold as winter. Don't you dare talk back to me, Jessica hissed. When your father's not here, I'm in charge. And if you tell him about this, she leaned close to Zara's ear. I'll make sure he sends you away to boarding school where you belong. Marcus's phone slipped from his numb fingers and clattered to the floor. 3 months. Jessica had been his wife for 3 months, and this whole time, the front door clicked open. Honey, I'm home. Jessica's sweet voice rang through the house, the same voice that had whispered, I love you, just this morning. The same voice he'd heard promising to take care of Zara while he was at work. Marcus scrambled to pick up his phone, his heart hammering against his ribs. The video was still playing. He could hear Zara's quiet sobs through the speaker. He fumbled with the volume button, but Jessica's footsteps were already getting closer. Marcus? Are you in the living room? He shoved the phone into his pocket just as Jessica appeared in the doorway. She looked perfect, like always. Her white sundress was spotless, her makeup flawless, her smile bright enough to light up Times Square. This was the woman he'd fallen in love with at that charity gala 8 months ago. This was the woman who'd made him believe in love again after his ex-wife left him for a younger man. This was the woman who'd been torturing his daughter. There you are. Jessica glided over and kissed his cheek. Her perfume smelled like vanilla and lies. How was your day at the office? Marcus stared at her, his throat dry. Fine, he managed to croak. Jessica tilted her head, studying his face with those green eyes that used to make his heart skip. Now they looked like chips of ice. You look pale, sweetheart. Are you feeling okay? Before he could answer, footsteps thundered down the stairs. Zara appeared at the bottom, wearing an oversized hoodie that covered her arms. Her eyes were red and puffy, but she tried to hide it with makeup. When she saw Jessica, she froze like a deer in headlights. Oh, Zara. Jessica's voice turned honey-sweet. How was school today, sweetie? Marcus watched his daughter's face carefully. He saw the flash of fear, quickly hidden. He saw the way her shoulders tensed, the way she kept her distance. It was fine, Zara mumbled, not meeting anyone's eyes. Just fine. Jessica laughed, the sound like breaking glass to Marcus's ears now. Well, I made your favorite dinner, spaghetti and meatballs. Why don't you go wash up? Zara nodded quickly and hurried toward the kitchen. As she passed Jessica, Marcus saw his wife's smile drop for just a split second. Her eyes followed Zara with the look of a cat watching a mouse. Then Jessica turned back to Marcus, and the sunshine smile was back in place. She's been so quiet lately, Jessica sighed, settling onto the couch beside him. I'm worried about her. Maybe she needs therapy? Or maybe she's just acting out because she's not used to having a stepmother. Marcus felt sick. Every word was a lie. Every concerned expression was an act. How long had this been going on? How many times had Jessica hurt his daughter while he was at work, trusting his wife to take care of the most important person in his world? Marcus! Jessica's hand touched his arm. You're scaring me. What's wrong? He looked down at her manicured fingers, the same hands that had slapped his daughter, the same hands that wore the 5-carat diamond ring he'd spent 2 months picking out, thinking he was giving it to someone who would love his family. His phone buzzed in his pocket. A text message. Carefully, trying not to let Jessica see, he pulled out his phone and glanced at the screen. The message was from Zara. Dad, I have something to show you. Can we talk alone after dinner? Please, it's important. Marcus looked up to find Jessica watching him with sharp eyes. Who's texting you this late? She asked, her voice light but her gaze intense. Just work stuff, he lied, sliding the phone back into his pocket. The video file felt like it was burning a hole through his jeans. Jessica smiled, but something flickered behind her eyes. Something that made Marcus's blood turn cold. You know, she said slowly, I've been thinking, maybe it's time we send Zara to that boarding school we looked at. The one in Connecticut? It might be good for her to have some independence. Make friends her own age.
No.
The word came out harder than Marcus intended. Jessica blinked, surprised. No? But honey, we talked about this. I said no, Jessica. Marcus stood up, needing to put distance between them. Zara stays here. She's my daughter. Of course she is. Jessica laughed, but the sound was strained now. I just thought. Well, she clearly doesn't like me very much. Maybe some time apart would help us bond better when she comes back for holidays. Marcus stared at his wife. This woman he'd promised to love and cherish. This woman who'd been playing the perfect stepmother while destroying his daughter piece by piece. I need some air, he said, heading toward the door. But what about dinner? I made. The front door slammed shut behind him, cutting off Jessica's protest. Marcus stood on his front porch, breathing hard, his hands shaking with rage and disbelief. Through the window, he could see Jessica standing in the living room, her perfect mask finally slipping. Her face was twisted with anger and something else. Fear. She knew. Somehow she knew that he knew. Marcus pulled out his phone and opened the video again. This time, he forced himself to watch every second. Every slap, every cruel word, every tear that fell from his daughter's eyes while his wife, tortured the most precious thing in his life. How many other videos were there? How long had Zara been suffering in silence, protecting him from the truth about the woman he'd married? His phone buzzed. Another text from Zara. Dad, where did you go? Jessica's asking questions. She looks really angry.
I'm scared.
Marcus's heart stopped. He ran for the front door, but it was locked. He fumbled for his keys, his hands shaking so badly he could barely get the key in the lock. From inside the house he heard voices. Jessica's voice, high and angry, and Zara's voice, scared and small. The key finally turned, and Marcus burst through the door. The house was silent. Zara? He called out. Jessica? No answer. He ran toward the kitchen, then the stairs, his heart pounding like a drum. Zara! A scream echoed from upstairs, high and terrified and unmistakably his daughter's voice. Marcus took the stairs 3 at a time, his phone still clutched in his hand, the video of his wife's cruelty playing on repeat in his mind. But when he reached Zara's bedroom door, what he saw made the blood drain from his face. The room was empty. The window was wide open, curtains blowing in the night breeze. And on the bed, written in red lipstick across the white pillowcase, were 5 words that made Marcus's world collapse. She knows about the video. 6 hours earlier, Zara Williams crept down the hallway, her bare feet silent on the marble floor. Her father had left for his business meeting an hour ago, and Jessica was in the shower. This was her chance. She slipped into her dad's home office, her heart pounding so loud she was sure the whole house could hear it. The desk drawer where he kept his old phone was locked, but Zara had watched him open it 100 times. Her fingers shook as she entered the code. Her birthday, 0816. The drawer clicked open. Inside was her father's old iPhone, the one he'd stopped using when he upgraded last month. But more importantly, it was the phone she'd been secretly sending videos to for 3 weeks. Videos that would destroy Jessica's perfect act forever. It had started by accident. Jessica had been extra cruel that Tuesday when Dad left early for a conference call. She'd cornered Zara in the kitchen, screaming about how she was a burden and how Dad would be better off without his mistake of a daughter. That's when Zara had started recording. At first, it was just protection, proof in case Jessica tried to blame her for something. But as the days went on and Jessica's mask slipped more and more, Zara realized she had something bigger. She had the truth. Now, 27 videos later, she had enough evidence to show her father exactly who he'd married. Zara quickly sent the newest video file to Dad's current phone, then deleted it from the old device. Her hands were sweating as she locked the drawer and crept back upstairs. She didn't see Jessica standing in the shadows of the hallway, watching her every move. Present time. Zara! Marcus's voice echoed through the empty house as he searched every room, every closet, every possible hiding place. His daughter was gone, vanished, and that message on her pillow could only mean one thing. Jessica had taken her. Marcus ran back downstairs, his mind racing. Where would Jessica go? What would she do to Zara to keep her quiet? His phone rang. Jessica's name flashed on the screen. Where is she? Marcus growled into the phone. Marcus, honey, you sound upset. Jessica's voice was calm, almost amused. Is everything okay? Don't play games with me, Jessica. Where's my daughter? A pause. Then Jessica laughed. Not the sweet laugh he'd fallen in love with, but something cold and sharp. Oh, Marcus, I had such high hopes for us. You're worth $4 billion, and I really thought we could make this work. The words hit him like ice water. What did you say? $4 billion, Jessica repeated slowly, like she was talking to a child. That's what Forbes said you were worth last year, right? Although with your tech company's new contracts, I bet it's more like $5 billion now. Marcus sank onto the couch, the horrible truth crashing over him like a wave. You married me for money. Of course I did. Jessica laughed again. Did you really think a woman like me would fall for a 42-year-old single dad with baggage? Please, Marcus, I have standards. But you said you loved me. You said you wanted to be a family. I said what you needed to hear. Jessica's voice turned hard as steel. You were so desperate for love after your ex-wife left you. So easy to manipulate. All I had to do was smile and play nice with your little brat. And you were ready to put a ring on my finger. Marcus felt sick. Where is Zara, Jessica? Safe. For now. The threat in her voice was clear. But that depends on you, doesn't it? See, I know about those little videos she's been taking. Very clever girl, your daughter. Too clever for her own good. If you hurt her, you'll what? Jessica cut him off. Call the police? With what proof? Those videos could have been faked. Deepfakes are so realistic these days. And who's going to believe a troubled teenager over a grieving stepmother? Marcus's blood ran cold. Grieving stepmother? Well, yes. It's so sad what happened to poor Zara. Running away in the middle of the night like that. The police will find her note, of course. The one where she explains how she can't handle having a new mom. How she'd rather live on the streets than in a house with me. Jessica's voice was sickeningly sweet now. I tried so hard to love that girl, but she just couldn't accept me. It broke her father's heart. You're insane, Marcus whispered. I'm practical, Jessica corrected. I've spent 8 months playing the perfect wife. I deserve something for my performance. So here's what's going to happen, Marcus. You're going to transfer $50 million to my account right now. Think of it as a divorce settlement. 50 million? Marcus couldn't breathe. You're out of your mind. I'm not giving you anything until I know Zara is safe. Oh, but you are, Jessica purred. Because if you don't, little Zara is going to have a very unfortunate accident. Maybe she'll fall down some stairs. Maybe she'll have trouble breathing. These things happen to runaway teens, you know. They get into dangerous situations. Marcus closed his eyes, his hands shaking with rage. You evil. 50 million, Marcus. You have 1 hour. I'll text you the account information. The line went dead. Marcus stared at his phone, his mind spinning. $50 million was nothing compared to Zara's life. But giving Jessica the money wouldn't guarantee his daughter's safety. In fact, it would probably make things worse. Once Jessica got what she wanted, what reason would she have to keep Zara alive? No, there had to be another way. Marcus ran to his home office and pulled up his security system on his computer. His house had cameras everywhere. Surely one of them had caught Jessica taking Zara. But as he scrolled through the footage, his heart sank. All the cameras had been turned off at exactly 8:47 p.m., right before he'd gotten home. Jessica had planned this perfectly. His phone buzzed. A text from Jessica with bank account numbers and a photo that made his blood freeze. It was Zara, tied to a chair in what looked like an empty warehouse. Her eyes were wide with terror, and there was tape over her mouth. Below the photo were 3 words, 1 hour, Marcus. Marcus stared at the image of his terrified daughter and felt something break inside his chest. This was his fault. He'd brought this monster into their home. He'd trusted her with the most precious thing in his life. But he wasn't going to let Jessica win. Marcus opened his laptop and started typing, his fingers flying over the keys. If Jessica thought she was the only one who could play games, she was about to learn otherwise. He pulled up his contact list and found the number he needed. Detective Rodriguez? This is Marcus Williams. I need your help, and I don't have much time. Jessica sat in the driver's seat of her car, parked outside the abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of the city. Everything was going perfectly. In 55 minutes, she'd be $50 million richer, and Marcus Williams would be a broken man with no daughter and no choice but to stay married to her. She'd planned this for months, ever since she'd started researching eligible billionaires online. Marcus had been perfect, rich, lonely, and desperate for a family. His daughter had been an unexpected complication, but Jessica was good at solving problems. Her phone rang. Marcus, do you have the money? She answered. I have it, Marcus said, his voice hollow. But I want to see Zara first. I want proof she's alive. Oh, Marcus, you're not really in a position to make demands, are you? Please, Marcus begged, and Jessica smiled. She loved the sound of powerful men begging. Just let me hear her voice. Let me know you haven't hurt her. Jessica considered this. It wouldn't hurt to let him suffer a little more. Fine. But just for a second. She got out of the car and walked into the warehouse. Zara was exactly where Jessica had left her, tied to a metal chair in the center of the empty space. The girl's eyes were red from crying, but they flashed with anger when she saw Jessica approach. Jessica ripped the tape off Zara's mouth, making the girl gasp. Zara? Marcus's voice came through the phone speaker. Zara, are you okay? Dad! Zara cried out. Dad! Don't give her anything. She's going to. Jessica slapped the tape back over Zara's mouth and put the phone back to her ear. There. Happy now? Your daughter is alive and well. For the next 53 minutes, anyway. Please don't hurt her, Marcus whispered. She's just a kid. Then wire the money, Marcus. You have. The warehouse door burst open. Jessica spun around to see men in black tactical gear flooding through every entrance. Red laser dots danced across her chest as voices shouted FBI. Freeze. Her phone clattered to the concrete floor as her hands shot up. Through the speaker, she could hear Marcus's voice, no longer broken and pleading, but strong and cold as ice. Did you really think I built a $4 billion company by being stupid, Jessica? Every phone call we've had tonight has been recorded. Every threat you made, every confession about marrying me for money, every word about hurting my daughter, all of it on tape. Jessica's mouth fell open as the FBI agents surrounded her. You can't. This isn't. Agent Morrison, Marcus's voice continued through the phone. I believe you'll find Miss Walsh has violated federal kidnapping laws, extortion laws, and several others. The bank account she wanted me to transfer money to, it's in the Cayman Islands. That makes this international. One of the FBI agents kicked Jessica's legs apart and cuffed her hands behind her back. Jessica Walsh, you're under arrest for kidnapping, extortion, and conspiracy to commit fraud. As they dragged her toward the door, Jessica twisted around to look at Zara, who was being freed by another agent. The girl's eyes met hers, and despite everything, Zara smiled. It was the smile of someone who had won. Jessica's perfect plan was crumbling, but she had one last card to play. As the FBI agent pushed her toward the door, she shouted back at the phone on the ground. "This isn't over, Marcus. You have no idea who you're dealing with. My real name isn't even Jessica Walsh." The warehouse fell silent except for the echo of her words. Through the phone speaker, Marcus's voice was quiet and deadly serious. "Then who are you?" But Jessica was already being shoved into the back of an FBI vehicle, and her answer was lost in the slam of the car door. The agent who'd been freeing Zara picked up the phone. "Mr. Williams? This is Agent Morrison. Your daughter is safe, but we're going to need you down here. It looks like there's more to this story than we thought." As the FBI car drove away with Jessica inside, she pressed her face against the window and smiled. Marcus Williams thought he'd won, but he had no idea that the real game was just beginning. And somewhere in a mansion in the Hollywood Hills, a phone rang. A man with cold eyes answered it and listened to the voice on the other end, the voice of someone who should have been in FBI custody. "Phase 1 is complete," the voice said. "Marcus Williams has no idea what's coming next." 2 days later, Marcus sat in the FBI field office, holding Zara's hand as Agent Morrison spread photos across the table. His daughter hadn't left his side since the warehouse, and he wasn't about to let her go anywhere alone ever again. "Her real name is Elena Kozlov," Agent Morrison said, pointing to a mugshot of Jessica, "but with dark hair and different clothes. She's part of an international crime family that targets wealthy Americans. They study their victims for months sometimes. Even with different hair, those cold green eyes were unmistakable. How many others have they done this to? 17 that we know of. Usually they marry the target, gain access to accounts, transfer the money, and disappear. But your case was different." Agent Morrison looked at Zara with respect. "Your daughter's evidence gathering changed everything. We've never had this much proof before." Zara squeezed her dad's hand. "I knew something was wrong from the first week she moved in. She was too perfect when you were around, but the second you left," she shuddered. "You were so brave, sweetheart," Marcus whispered, pulling his daughter close. "I'm sorry I didn't see it sooner." Agent Morrison cleared his throat. "There's something else, Mr. Williams. We found Elena's phone records. She's been in contact with someone else. Someone who's been watching your house for weeks." Marcus felt his blood turn cold. "Watching our house?" Before Agent Morrison could answer, his phone rang. He glanced at it and frowned. "It's the detention center. Elena Kozlov is asking to speak with you, Mr. Williams. She says she has information about your safety." "Absolutely not," Marcus said immediately. "I never want to see that woman again." "Dad," Zara said quietly, "maybe we should hear what she has to say. If there's someone else out there." Marcus looked at his daughter. This incredible, brave girl who'd risked everything to protect their family. She was right. They needed to know what they were still facing. 1 hour later, Elena Kozlov looked nothing like Jessica Walsh. Gone was the perfect blonde hair and sweet smile. Her dark roots showed through, and her face was hard, calculating. She sat across from Marcus and Zara in the prison meeting room, her hands cuffed to the table. "You look surprised," Elena said in an accent that definitely wasn't American. "Did you really think Jessica Walsh was real? What do you want?" Marcus asked coldly. Elena smiled, but it wasn't friendly. "To save your life, actually. You see, Marcus, you weren't my only assignment. My family, my real family, they don't give up easily. Right now, there's a man named Victor parked outside your daughter's school. There's another one following your housekeeper. And there's a woman who's been applying for jobs at your company." Zara gripped her father's arm. "Dad, why are you telling us this?" Marcus demanded. Elena leaned forward as far as her cuffs would allow. "Because they're going to kill me anyway. The Kozlov family doesn't tolerate failure, and I failed spectacularly." "But your daughter." She looked at Zara with something that might have been respect. "She's smarter than I gave her credit for. Those videos ruined everything, but they also saved both our lives." "Saved your life?" Marcus couldn't believe what he was hearing. "If I had successfully married you and taken your money, they would have killed me to tie up loose ends. That's how they work. The only reason I'm still breathing is because I'm in FBI custody. Elena's eyes were deadly serious now. But they'll try again with someone else. And next time, they'll be more careful about stepdaughters with cameras. Agent Morrison, who'd been listening from the corner, stepped forward. What exactly are you proposing? Elena turned to him. I want witness protection in exchange for everything I know about the Kozlov organization. Names, locations, bank accounts, future targets. All of it. And why should we trust you? Marcus asked. Elena was quiet for a long moment. Then she looked directly at Zara. Because you remind me of someone I used to know. My little sister, Anna. She was your age when the Kozlovs recruited me. They promised they'd keep her safe if I worked for them. Her voice got softer, sadder. Anna died in a car accident 3 years ago. Except it wasn't an accident. She'd started asking questions about what I was doing, threatening to go to the police. So they killed her and made it look like she'd been drinking and driving. Zara's eyes filled with tears.
I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry for me, Elena said fiercely. Be smart. These people will never stop coming after your father's money. But with my information, the FBI can shut them down completely. Marcus studied Elena's face, looking for lies, for tricks. All he saw was exhaustion and grief. If we do this, if we help you, I want guarantees. I want protection for my family. You'll have it, Agent Morrison promised. But Elena will need more than just names. We'll need evidence, documents, proof. Elena smiled for real this time. Agent Morrison, I've been keeping insurance files on the Kozlov family for 5 years. Bank records, recordings, photos, everything. They're hidden in a safety deposit box in Switzerland. I was planning to use them to disappear after the Marcus job, but... She shrugged. Plans change. 3 weeks later, Marcus stood in his kitchen, making breakfast for Zara before school. It was Saturday morning, and sunlight streamed through the windows of their house. The same house where Jessica had terrorized his daughter, but it felt different now. Safe. Clean. Dad, you're burning the pancakes? Zara laughed, flipping them with practiced ease. I was distracted, Marcus admitted. Agent Morrison called last night. They arrested 17 Kozlov family members across 4 countries using Elena's information. It's over, sweetheart. Really over. Zara hugged him tight. Good. I was getting tired of FBI agents following me to school. Marcus kissed the top of her head. I'm proud of you, you know? What you did. Recording those videos. Staying strong even when she threatened you. You saved us both. We saved each other, Zara corrected. You could have just paid her the money and hoped for the best. Instead, you fought for me. They were interrupted by the doorbell. Marcus tensed for a moment, old habits from 3 weeks of living in fear, but then he saw Agent Morrison through the window. Good morning, the agent said when Marcus opened the door. I have some news I thought you'd want to hear in person. Good news or bad news? Zara asked, joining them at the door. Good news. Elena Kozlov, her real name is Elena Petrov, by the way. She's been officially accepted into witness protection. She'll testify against her family next month, and then she'll disappear forever. New name, new life, new chance. Marcus felt something he hadn't expected, relief for Elena. Despite everything she'd done, learning about her sister had shown him that she was as much a victim as a criminal. Where will she go? I can't tell you that, Agent Morrison smiled. But I can tell you she asked me to give you something. He handed Marcus a sealed envelope with "For Zara" written on the front in careful handwriting. Zara opened it and read silently, her eyes getting wide. What does it say? Marcus asked. She says. Zara's voice was soft with wonder. She says that watching me stand up to her made her remember what it felt like to have a sister worth protecting. And she's sorry she forgot that for so long. At the bottom of the letter was a bank routing number and account information. What's that? Marcus asked. Agent Morrison grinned. Elena had a personal account separate from the family money. About $2 million she'd saved over the years. She's donating it to a scholarship fund for kids who've experienced domestic abuse. She wants it named after her sister Anna. Zara wiped tears from her eyes. She's really trying to make things right. People can change, Marcus said, putting his arm around his daughter. It doesn't excuse what they did, but they can still choose to do better. Agent Morrison nodded and turned to leave, then paused. Oh, one more thing. Elena wanted me to tell Zara something. She said, trust your instincts. They'll never steer you wrong. After the agent left, Marcus and Zara sat on their front porch, eating perfectly cooked pancakes and watching the neighborhood come alive with Saturday morning activity. Dad, Zara said after a while. Yeah, I'm glad you married her. Marcus nearly choked on his orange juice. What? Zara grinned at his shocked expression. Not because she was good for us, obviously she wasn't, but because going through this together made us stronger. And because now I know that no matter what happens, you'll always choose me first. Marcus pulled his daughter close, his heart full to bursting. She was right. The worst experience of their lives had taught him the most important lesson. Love built on greed would always collapse, but love built on truth. Love that chose family over money, protection over profit, blood over gold. That love was unbreakable. Always, he promised her. You're my daughter, Zara, my blood, my heart, and nothing, no amount of money, no perfect smile, no beautiful lie, will ever matter more than that. As they sat together in the sunshine, Marcus's phone buzzed with a text from his company's CEO. The tech contracts they'd been working on had finally gone through. His net worth had just jumped to $6 billion. Marcus glanced at the message, then deleted it without showing Zara. Some things were more valuable than money. Some things couldn't be bought, stolen, or faked. Some things, like the trust of a brave daughter who'd risked everything to save her family, were worth more than all the billions in the world. Come on, he said, standing up and pulling Zara to her feet. Let's go do something normal families do on Saturdays. Like what? Marcus grinned. Like teaching you how to drive my car. It's time you learned. Zara's eyes went wide with excitement. Really? But Dad, that's a McLaren. It costs more than most people's houses. It's just a car, sweetheart. Metal and plastic and glass. You're my daughter. You're irreplaceable. As they walked toward the garage, Zara grabbed his hand. Dad? Next time you want to get married, can I do a background check first? Marcus laughed. The first real laugh he'd had in months. Deal. But I think I'm going to stay single for a while. I've got the only girl I need right here. Good, Zara said firmly. Because I'm not sharing you with anyone who doesn't deserve you. And as Marcus taught his daughter to drive his $6 million car around their neighborhood, he realized that Zara had been protecting him long before she ever picked up that camera. She'd been protecting his heart, his judgment, his ability to see clearly. Jessica Walsh, Elena Kozlov, Elena Petrov, whoever she really was, had married him for his billions. But she'd never understood the real treasure in the Williams family. It wasn't the money. It was the love between a father and daughter who would always choose each other first. Some truths were worth more than gold. And some families were worth fighting for. Greed promises everything but delivers only emptiness. Love asks for nothing but gives everything. In the end, blood doesn't just run thicker than water. It runs deeper than gold.